Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back to TLR, better known as the Ludicrous Report. Hope everyone had a long or fun weekend. Memorial Day weekend, a lot of fun stuff going on. As always, co-host here, Joey Karni, with the amazing Diva Incarnate, Issa. Issa, how was your weekend?
Oh my God, so exhausting, so full of wrestling. So full of wrestling. I live stream all weekend long, so it was a tiring one.
You know what's funny? I go on YouTube throughout the day, like hourly throughout the day.
Oh, I live on YouTube.
And every time, there was like 3 or 4 times when I went on this weekend and you were streaming.
Yeah. Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
Yeah. I was hanging out with your chat for a little while, talking wrestling. Always a great time over there. I love your chat.
Yeah, so I didn't get any time to and I still don't because we still have another to Thursday. That's a lot of days in a row of wrestling. Like Thursday, whoever mentions wrestling after a certain time, I'm going to be like, don't talk to me, please. Thursday night, no wrestling talk for me.
I remember there was a time, 2021 or something like that. There was an NWA pay-per-view, there was an NXT pay-per-view, and then there was either an AEW or something. There was like 3 or 4 pay-per-views in a weekend. And I did on my own a pre-show and an after show for each show. I was live like 6 or 7 times that day, and I will never do it again.
Yeah, no.
Never do it again. It was
do not recommend. I like it. I have fun. So and because I gotta cover it for Wrestling Inc. afterwards, I gotta do the recap. I gotta watch the shows regardless. So why not go live and watch it with people? But yeah, that was my holiday weekend. I saw you had a badass barbecue on your Instagram story. I was like, man, if I lived in Jersey, I would totally crash your family.
Yes. Oh, please,
I'll be like, I'm here with Joey, please.
Yep. Come. Everybody's welcome.
There was so much food. It looks so good. I literally was jealous. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I bought last year for my dad's birthday. I bought him this giant griddle for outside. It's literally the size of a grill, but it's just a griddle top. So what you would see like in a hibachi restaurant or like at I don't know.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Freaking thing. But it was on sale at like Walmart. I was like, gotta get it. We gotta get it. Because we grill a lot, we barbecue a lot, so it makes sense. But because we live up north, really haven't been able to use it throughout the winter.
Right.
So now that it's nice out, it just happened to be Memorial Day weekend and my sister's birthday. So we did like a family barbecue. We did like sausage and peppers because we're Italian. So
right.
Sausage and peppers. We put meat on there and did Philly cheesesteaks. I mean, this you saw. It was.
Yeah, I know. I saw. I almost jumped on a plane. Like that's not looking good. I was like, damn. When I come visit, I'm gonna do the barbecues with Joey's family.
And it's funny seeing like now that because they've been using it. Like I think in the last week they've used it like 4 times, like just grilling out there. And I look over to my dad and I see him holding something down. And all he hears, and I was like, "Are you burning something?" He's like, "No, I'm making smash burgers." I was like, "What the hell is that?" So it's basically when
Baron Corbin,
right? So taking the idea of a cheeseburger or a hamburger and just pressing it down so the meat is really, really thin.
I love it.
They're great.
I'm a big fan of it because of my stomach condition. I can't eat like the big burgers, and I'm a big burger girl, right? Like I always told you guys, I was like, I used to be fat. Okay, I'm a big fan of junk food, but burgers and pizzas are my 2 things. Granted that I eat them plain. It's just cheese and ketchup. That's it. Yeah. But the whole point is I cannot order a very thick burger. My stomach won't process that. So now they start doing the smash burger. The thinner than they get, the better. Oh my God. Yeah. Did you see the TikTok that Baron Corbin made?
Yes.
Like showing how to make
great, smash? By the way, on TikTok.
My God, why don't they let him just be himself? Why don't they just let him be himself? Because I was like, somebody tweeted it out and they were like, am I a Baron Corbin fan? I'm like, Baron Corbin is the coolest. I used to also watch him on the Sweets when they were doing the Twitch channel with Tyler Breeze and Ty Dillinger. Yeah. He was the coolest of the 3 of them, and I'm like, Baron Corbin does not come off that way at all on TV, but he's such a cool guy. Whole point to it is that I saw him making those smash burger, and that looked good. It looked very good.
Yeah, I had this idea a long time ago. I was like, he should definitely play like an influencer role.
Oh my God, yes.
Like he's always with his phone, and he's always doing things, and everything's like everything's for, like almost like a Logan Paul type character.
Right.
but with more of like the annoying influencer tactics. And I think
Right.
it would just be over. I don't know. It would work so well, but
He will kill it. But shout out to Smash Burgers. They're a
yeah.
big hit, and I think they're a great idea. I don't like it. I'm the same with my pizza. I'm just not take this out of context. I'm not a thick meat and thick pizza kind of person. Okay, I like it thin.
Yeah.
So just the burgers, though. Let's move on. This is going downhill. Let's move on.
This is a PG show.
Damn it.
For the most part. So many fun topics for today. We were kind of playing around on Twitter before the show, saying that it was like parent topics, and we're gonna give parental advice and different things like that. It was kind of funny.
The least parental people are about to talk about parent topics. It's great.
Yeah, we're animal parents, so I feel like we are. This is acceptable. I think
it is acceptable. My dog woke me up at 3 a.m. today, licking my face. I mean, it doesn't get any more parent than that.
So many topics like regarding. Obviously, we have to include the Kardashian family. Once again, adding Beyonce and Jay-Z news. Britney is back in the headlines. I mean,
she always is.
I mean, she doesn't. She's there. She's permanent in the headlines. But speaking of Britney, I feel like that's kind of a good one to start off with. Kevin Federline, her former husband, the father of Britney Spears' children, wants to move, or is planning to move to Hawaii, and is taking their 2 kids. And he has kind of reached out to have her sign off on it so they can go. But if she doesn't, then he's willing to take her to court and get involved with lawyers and do all this stuff. So I guess we can kind of give our thoughts and what would you do in that position if you were Britney?
I don't know, because this one is a little bit complicated. I don't think Britney has seen these kids in a while. And I don't think that her relationship with her 2 kids is the greatest at the moment, based on some of the things that we heard. Even the kids say they're old enough now. And I know that one of them like made a secret Instagram account and started talking all kinds of crap a few months ago.
Yeah.
There's also the factor that I feel like the life that these kids are living is thanks to Britney and the child support that she's paying. Like, let's just keep it real. I think that throughout her mental illness and all that, he stepped up as a dad. But we all know that she's paying a big chunk of money in child support for these 2 kids. So could you move to a big mansion in Hawaii with your 2 kids without the Britney money? No. I don't know what the custody situation is, right? Like, there's so many factors going into this. I don't know what I would do, because if I'm in that situation, if I'm Britney and I don't have a good relationship with them, maybe holding that move could even hurt my relationship with my kids anymore, especially when I'm someone that possibly has the freedom and the money to fly to Hawaii anytime I feel like it. She's not working, she's not doing anything, right? So I don't know. And I don't know what the legal custody thing is. Does he have full custody? But I know that without her permission, if she's involved, especially she's always paid her child support, there's nothing he can do unless it is taken to court.
I don't know if you know this, because I really don't. What does Kevin Federline do? Like, I know what he used to do. He
impregnates women.
Clip it. I know he used to be like a dancer,
a good dancer too. That's how they met. Mm-hmm.
And then he started making music. He was like a rapper for a little while.
Didn't he beat John Cena?
He beat John Cena.
You become a millionaire just on that.
And I think that's the greatest thing he ever did, besides becoming a dad. Like, he beat John Cena.
He beat John Cena.
I don't know, like, what he did, like, after that. Like, what is
he was on that celebrity boot camp show on VH1. I told you I like trashy reality TV. Yeah. That's a throwback. Remember when they would take the celebrities that had gained some weight and put them in a boot camp to get them to lose weight? I don't know what he does. But I do know that Britney, like, it's being public knowledge that Britney pays a very big chunk of money in child support. So it almost feels like, I feel like he's a full-time dad, honestly.
Well, Joseph says in the chat, he doesn't do a damn thing.
I love our chat. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, I don't know what he does.
He's one of those celebrities that like was really big for like he had his 15 minutes of fame and then completely disappeared. Like he like just fell off completely. And like,
but do you notice that and I don't want to I don't like Kevin Federline, but the fallout also happened when everything went wrong with Britney. So I don't know if I don't want to give him the credit or did he have to step up, but I also had to wonder, did he have to step up? Because if you would have told me before, remember the breakdown, the video that went viral of her being taken an ambulance to a freaking mental hospital was when she locked herself in a room with one of her babies.
Yeah.
So like, it makes you wonder, did he like take a step back because he kind of had to step up as a dad? Like Britney wasn't there, you know what I mean? But then she got into conservatorship. She was more present. Britney was a present mom for years. This whole falling apart with her kids is more recent. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe he just decided to stay out of the limelight to kind of like be a better dad. I don't want to give him that much credit, but it wouldn't surprise me with everything that was going on.
I'm looking at the article now, and I actually didn't know this before. This is what it says. It says Kevin's lawyer adds that there's no issue with the two kids, Sean Preston and Jaden James. So Sean is 17, Jaden is 16.
Damn, we're old.
Kevin has old. Right? I remember when they were born. Crazy.
Yeah.
Kevin has 100% legal custody.
Okay.
And 100% de facto physical custody. And it adds that Britney has not seen the boys in more than a year.
Yeah.
I knew that.
I knew that.
I didn't know that before.
Yeah, they came out with those videos of her like not yelling at them. I thought that was petty. I thought when the video went viral, her yelling at them, it was more of like, it was such a mom and a teenage boy kind of argument that I was like, really? Now people want to say that Britney's abusing her kids. That my sister had. Yeah, my sister has 3 boys. I used to hear these arguments on a daily basis, and everybody will get over it 5 minutes later. Like that is just how it works, you know. But I just know that one of them went on Instagram and just started talking that things with her weren't good, and then that account got deleted. It looked like he made a Finsta, you know what I'm talking about, and people found it. But if he has 100% custody.
Yeah,
I mean, there has to, I would assume that there has to be some kind of clause that say he has the custody because of what she's going through. Because again, she hasn't been irresponsible when it comes to like her duties. But I know that even with 100% custody, you do need both parents' permission. In order to make that happen. But based on their ages too, don't you think that you're just better off waiting 2 more years when they're both over 18 and just go then?
Well, now that I'm looking at it, I kind of give Kevin Federline some credit here because it doesn't look like Britney's in the best position with the kids, and obviously not seeing them for over a year. He has full custody. Like he's being considerate, like giving her the opportunity to sign off instead of just going straight to the lawyer and kind of kicking her out of the whole equation, just doing it strictly legally, and keeping it.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Her the courtesy of going to her and saying, "Hey, you can sign off on it. If you don't, then I will go to the lawyers and do it, legally." But
and he probably
could her make the decision first.
And he probably could, because I would assume that there's a op somewhere in there that shows, what she's going through, and she still has to pay her child support. But it's just, I don't know, maybe she doesn't want to let them go because she still has hopes to recover that relationship. But I feel like an effort has to be made from all sides, and it doesn't feel like that's being made right now.
The end of the article says, our sources say Britney has no real objections to Kevin making the move, but it can't be done without either a formal waiver from her or a court order. So, I mean, maybe she doesn't really have any any objection there.
Right. That's what I'm saying, because you do see her travel a lot. She's always in Mexico, Hawaii. She does go on crazy vacations now, which good for her. But that was my original point. It's like she has the money to go visit them once a week. She wanted to, you know what I mean? Like if she wants to, but she hasn't seen them. So this whole news report is weird, and it just puts everybody in such a weird situation. It's hard to talk about it. It's just, to me, it's just sad because I remember seeing, and maybe it was throughout the conservatorship, but she always posted pictures with the kids.
Yeah,
she would take them on these vacations. And they would go on like bike rides together. Like her Instagram. Before this whole free Britney movement, which I was happy that it happened, but at the same time, now I'm like, I don't know what we did, because I was one of the people that was all well spoken, like free Britney. But before all that, She lived for those kids.
Yeah.
And it's just so weird to see how that turned. And I wish it feels like we're never going to get the full story on what's going on with
Yeah.
Britney. And it just makes me sad.
Maybe, maybe Kevin's deciding to move them to Hawaii because he wants the kids to kind of be out of the limelight and let them live, more discreetly and have more of a normal life. We don't know.
Don't you think that he's doing at least a decent job with that? Because throughout the entire Free Britney movement, even when Britney was
Yeah.
locked up, like these kids were not exposed.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't think we were gonna go over this topic and give Kevin Federline so much freaking credit at the end of having the conversation. But when Britney was the top talk about thing, you would think that these paparazzis will be out there trying to find pictures of what happened to the kids, what about the kids, and these kids are protected. So he's doing, I mean, he beat John Cena, so I guess there are some good qualities to him. He's doing a good job when it comes to that. You're right, that might be what he wants to do. Maybe they're going through crazy extremes right now to keep their life private, and they feel if they go somewhere else, it might be a lot easier for them.
Yeah, maybe they're every day they have in their face how their mom is crazy and she's going through things, and it's all over every headline. Like maybe they just need, some normalcy in their life, and
if you were the dad,
for her too. Maybe she needs that.
If you were the dad of these kids, would you let them on Instagram, seeing Britney's Instagram and what she posts in her comment sections and all that?
See, here's the thing. It's very hard to, especially being 16 and 17 years old, like it's very hard, even like for a 10-year-old, I would feel it's very hard to keep them off of social media.
Right.
Because social media today is a part of our society. But sadly to say, social media is also helping kids develop their social skills. So if you were to deprive a young kid from social media, they're going to grow up feeling like outcasted from all the other kids. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would assume that these kids also know that there's something wrong with her. I mean, Britney's been on medication. She's been hospitalized throughout, their entire life. So I would assume that they know that, there might be something wrong with her. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm not against social media with some parenting and kind of like monitoring, right? Because I'm also not gonna tell Britney, I hate when people go, oh, she's in her 40s, she's a mom, she shouldn't be posting. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what she's posting, it's a matter of how are you filtering it from the kids. I'm never gonna I don't know. It's such a weird topic. To me, the biggest disappointment is how her relationship with her kids fell apart, because I've always been a huge Britney fan. I remember her always posting about the boys, and I remember seeing how big they were getting and freaking out about how old we're all getting. And now she doesn't even mention them. And that to me, like, that has to sting a little.
And we kind of touched on this topic when we talk about Northwest and Kim Kardashian. Like, should she be on social media? Remember we had those talks. And maybe something that we didn't talk about then, I just thought of now, there's ways on social media to restrict certain words and phrases. So maybe they're on social media, but they have, Britney and Britney Spears, like all those, anything that's related to her, maybe they have that restricted so they can't see it.
Right.
So, I mean, I would assume.
But you can Google.
I mean, there's ways to restrict that too. I don't know what extent you would go to. Like, is Kim Kardashian restricting Kanye West on Google so her kids can't search him? Like, I'm not.
No, but I did see a report the other day where she made a statement about how Kanye's behavior, lately would affect her kids more when they grow up than her tape ever would. And I'm like, you know what? She might have a valid point. She might have, and you would have told me that like a couple of years ago. I would have been like, well, I don't know about that, but sex work is becoming so normalized, and these statements that he's made are so controversial that it's just like, I would have never guessed that would have been the direction that this was going.
Let me ask you, you have Hulu, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometime between now and the next show, go on Hulu. Last week, the season 3 dropped. The new Kardashian season dropped, season 3. But there's only an episode every week. It's not like Netflix where they just put it all.
Oh, that one is easy to keep up with. Yeah.
Watch. You don't have to watch in order. Just go watch episode 1 of season 3. Okay. She has like a breakdown with Kris Jenner. Kim has a breakdown with Kris Jenner, and basically for like a half an hour goes on a rant about what you just talked about how she's with Kanye's behavior and how she's trying to, kind of shield them from that. And she will never, like, how it's so hard for her, like on their way to school, the kids want to listen to Kanye's music because they think he's the best artist. And she has to sit there with a smile on her face and pretend that everything's good. Like, she's doing the most she can to be a good mother in that position and not talk badly about him. Go watch season 3, episode 1.
I'll watch it.
It's really powerful stuff. And honestly, I give Kim a lot of credit for being able to do it, regardless if it's a publicity stunt or not, to go out there and do that for your kids.
It's kind of like the same situation that we're talking about right now. The only difference is that Kim is so public. She has to put these things public, where Kevin Federline kind of like stop being in the limelight. So we don't know how he's handling this, but this is like maybe different kinds of mental illnesses. But I do believe Kanye has been diagnosed and he's been outspoken about having issues. And we know Britney has issues. And it's like, how does the other person handle it? How do you go without trash talking their other parent, but also knowing, man, eventually you're gonna find out these things, and I don't know how to go about it. It's crazy, right? It is crazy. But we talked about this a lot. I'm obsessed with how Kim has been, who she has turned out to be, and see her as a mom. And I see her TikToks with North, and I think it's the most adorable thing. And it's like, how are you gonna try to take that away from them? Like, it's cute, But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, and speaking, we're kind of transitioning here into the Kardashian stuff and talking about the same topic. Kourtney Kardashian is in the headlines. Exactly. Kourtney Kardashian says she hasn't seen her kids in 10 days while on tour with Travis Barker, and she cried for 2 days. That's the headline. That's what it says.
I know that's the headline, but weren't we just talking a few shows ago about how they kind of switch roles, when Kourtney used to be the maternal one, the laid back, I'm going to stay home and be a mom, and Kim was the wild one. And now you just don't see Kim doing anything without her kids. Or I just would never picture Kim leaving her kids for 10 days right now. And you hear this and you go like, I mean, her kids are not grown. I get it. You have money to afford the best nannies. But remember that one episode where we talked about like really rich people, how their kids are raised by nannies, basically? Yep. Do you want to become that because you married Travis Barker?
I feel like this has always been a thing. I think that throughout the history of the Kardashian shows, Kourtney has always been the outcast because she was like the first one to have kids, and she was more focused on being a mom, and everyone was focused on their social media and stuff.
Right.
And I feel like now looking at it, it may have been a front. I think that she kind of put on this persona as if like she's like this more mature, well-groomed woman, and they were just like interested in other things, and she's in her zen, whatever. And if you watch the show, sometimes they show like there's spots where they have nannies and this, that, and the other thing. And by the way, a lot of the time, Scott Disick, who's not mentioned at all anymore, steps up and really takes the kids. You can see the relationship with him and the kids, and her and the kids. And it's always like her by herself, and the kid, 1 or 2 kids are there as a prop. And then you see Scott, and he's playing with the kids, and he's posting about them on social media, and being a dad.
First of all, we call him Lord Disick. Thank you.
Lord Disick. He's Lord. I always have respect for that guy, because if you look back way to beginning, he was a young punk, and now he's granted.
Yeah. I saw a report when I was
with the Kardashian family. He's in the mob, so it's like you're good.
When I was looking at reports to like bring up to the plate today, I'll bring these 2 that I didn't send you, but they're parent related. There was one about Scott Disick saying that he feels like he's grown up and he's come to terms in his relationship with the Kardashians because he knows that they love him and they accept him, and he knows that he's doing a good job as a dad. And I'm like, well, go you. You should pat yourself in the back, because you used to be you said it, such a little punk. And now, and now he's stepping up. But with Kourtney, it's just like, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? Like, you have money, go fly home and see them. You don't have to be on this tour. Why are you in the tour? Are you that insecure? What's going on here? What is the real thing? Because for you to leave your kids for 10 days, why do you have to follow him around?
They were here. Blink-182 was here in New York last week, and he brought her out on stage at MSG.
Did he?
Yeah, he brought her out on stage.
Oh my God, to be 20 again.
or you don't have to be 20 to be
Apparently
her.
no, yeah, right. But
She's
that's what
what,
I'm saying. It's like
47? Like,
yeah, it's such a 20-something-year-old behavior what those two are doing right now. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And
And
granted,
then I
they're in
told
their
you,
love bubble, whatever the hell you want to call it.
yeah, but
But
I
come
told you
on,
how much it
you have
bothers me
kids.
that it bothers me that people now see Travis as Kourtney's husband when I'm like, no, he's a big deal with Blink 182, but now he's also making his life all about Kourtney, and it's just
Yeah,
like, why are you bringing her out? Think really people that like Blink 182 are into the Kardashians? Nobody.
no, no.
And speaking of the co-parenting, the other report that I didn't bring, but I'll cover it real quick, was that Kourtney said that she is not back with Tristan, that they're just very good at co-parenting.
I
Do you
saw that.
believe that? Do you believe that?
You know,
She's gonna be in love with this man forever. I'm convinced about that.
this may be a little harsh to say because
Uh-oh.
we got love. You and I both got love for Chloe,
Yeah.
right? I feel like she values herself based on the approval of men
Oof.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And this is not a topic that I like to discuss, but
Nobody likes to discuss that topic, and women would never
that's
admit
a big
that.
thing. A big thing with a lot of people. I think she puts way too much value as like because her other siblings are married with children. I feel like she has a sense of, no pun intended, but keeping up with the Kardashians.
I hate that. I hate that. As somebody that's being very open about not wanting to have kids and all that, you know, and everybody's like, you get that pressure. You do. Every family members are still asking, and I'm like, I really reach an age where I just don't think it's safe or good. Like, leave me alone. Like, if I didn't prove at this point, you know, that I'm not gonna do it. But it's so easy to be able to fall under the pressure of maybe I do need to get married and have kids because that's what everybody expects me to do, you know?
Listen, my younger sibling just turned 27 yesterday, and she's engaged.
Oh,
no, I'm not. I'm the older sibling, and I'm still single. You know,
hey,
so I get it.
You're my hero.
you know what I realized too. Side note, I always see it too. It's always the younger siblings who do it first. Isn't that funny? Did you ever realize
I'm the youngest.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the youngest in my
Maybe
family.
not for you. Maybe not for you. It's different. But I've seen like with a lot of my friends, like it's always the younger sibling, and it's typically like the girl, the younger sister, who is engaged before the older sibling.
Yeah.
I always see it. Or they have a stronger, like they're in a stronger relationship.
I just think yeah, I don't know. I would always assume that it depends, right? You would think the younger sibling would learn from the mistakes of the older. But you're right. I do see a lot of times the younger sibling gets married soon and all that. It depends on the family. Again, I'm the youngest in my family, and I mean, I was engaged for a few years, so I can't even sit here and tell you never. But babies was a thing that I knew I never wanted. You know what I mean? Like in marriage, I just feel like it's paperwork. I feel like it's such paperwork. Paperwork. Like it's like a relationship is work regardless, right? But I'm like, why do we need to have papers to it? If you love someone, you love someone, and if he dies down, then you each go each way. Like when did we start making it legal?
And the thing about that too is like, regardless if you're married or not, like people still cheat and they do stupid crap. So having it on paper doesn't change anything because when
it just makes it more complicated. If you need to walk away, you're fucked. You gotta go through a divorce and all that. Nah.
Now you gotta split everything.
Miss me with that bullshit.
I love, by the way, for the last 10 minutes we have had Blink 182 references in the entire chat, and I'm loving it.
I know. What's your favorite Blink 182 song?
It's gotta be Miss You.
Miss You is so good. I like First Date. I think First Date is so freaking cute.
You know what First Date does for me? First Date brings, I feel like because I grew up listening to Blink 182.
Right.
So like I remember being like 7 years old and blasting All the Small Things in the car with my mom.
Oh, the Small Things is
my mom was a young parent. My mom had me at 19. So like we kind of grew up together. And we liked kind of the same music. So we would blast that in the car. But like I don't know. There's some songs where it just brings me way, way back where I'm like,
The Rock
too
Show.
far
I
back.
love Rock Show.
Oh, the Rock Show. Yeah.
Fell in love with the girl at
Yeah.
the Rock
Same
Show.
thing with Avril Lavigne. I see Samantha saying Avril Lavigne. Like, even hearing her songs, like,
Oh my God, yes.
oh my
Especially
God.
from her first album, Complicated.
Yeah.
Will forever hit.
It brings me back like to like way too far back. Where I'm
Retro
like,
show,
I'm so
retro
old.
show.
I'm
We
so
need to make it
old.
happen. Retro show. We need
Yeah.
to make it happen. We need to just talk about, like, maybe we should do it different eras, right? Like eras that both you and I were aware of pop culture. Like, let's talk about this era, and then we'll do
Yeah, do
another
some
retro
something in
show.
the 90s.
Biggest news from those, from those times and all that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
2000s.
the 2000s, right? Well, I'm 90s, 2000, so
Yeah.
I'm older than you, sadly. So
Doesn't matter. Age is a number, Isa. Age is
oh,
a
I
number.
know, trust me, I know. But some people want to like judge by age and all that.
I
You
hate
know
that.
how it goes. Yeah, but I hate that you brought that up about Chloe because I can actually see it a little
Yeah.
bit. I hope that's not
understand
the
why.
case. Yeah.
Like, I understand that it's because she has kids and she's trying to, like, she doesn't want to be in that, because listen, the other siblings and even her parents have been in that position where it's like you're co-parenting, like you're married, you're remarried, you're divorced, you're remarried. Like, she just doesn't, she wants to break that cycle, it seems like. But for her, it's very hard. And, even to think, like, if you were in that position where you are known globally and like you like you wear the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, the world is coming at you. They're at your doorstep. So for them, it's very hard to have a real relationship because people want their money, people want clout, people want, what they have. It's why they've all been in and out of relationships the amount of times, because it's very hard to find someone who's willing to be a part of that and deal with that lifestyle.
Right. The one thing that I did see in the news with Chloe that really upset me about the way people were handling it, especially on Twitter, was a report that she was very open about how she's having a harder time bonding with her second child.
I saw
which
that
is
too.
the
And
one
they
that she had.
Yeah,
Season
so
3,
she episode 1. They talk about that.
She had that baby through a surrogate, and she's
Yep.
talking about how she's not bonding with that baby as much as she did with, I think it's true, right?
True.
Yeah. So it went viral. Somebody quoted it, and it's like, maybe because you had that baby to keep that man around, this and that. I was like, first of all, stop.
It happened after.
Because not only that, but there are women that experience postpartum depression and have a hard time bonding with a baby that they gave birth to. There are women that bond with surrogate babies as if they gave birth to them themselves. And there are women, it is known, that have a harder time. Like, this is normal. And the reason why maybe sometimes we don't have these conversations is because when a person that has an influence and a platform says, hey, I'm experiencing this, you people will turn around and make that person the villain for having a conversation about a topic that it needs to be had. So I was so upset because when I first ran into the story was the viral tweet of somebody saying, oh, it's because you had that baby for all the wrong reasons. And I'm like, bro, no, like, can we be sympathetic for once? Like, what is going on with the world right now? Jesus.
Yes. Samantha said it's all in the first season of all in the first episode of season 3.
I'm gonna watch it.
They talked about this. Chloe talks about it. I think she sits with like Kim and Chris, and they try to come up with like what she can do.
Did Kim offer advice? Because Kim had half her babies through surrogate.
Yeah, Kim offered. They were going back and forth, and then Chloe, they go to like the thing where Chloe's just talking, and she basically said how, like, the negative part of surrogacy is not ever spoken about. Like, what she's going through, like all this stuff, she feels like she didn't do any of the work, where she just went to a waiting like a room. And this lady had a baby and handed her the baby, and that was it. Like, she's like, it felt very like uncomfortable and weird. And it's really interesting to do.
I think it's a conversation that should be had, and it made me mad that people start, because why makes you think that she's gonna come out and talk about it again now that she's seeing that it's being reacted to negatively, or people are using her relationship struggles against her? Yeah, Samantha, it does feel like a transaction. I heard other women talk about it in that kind of way, but if Chloe says it, oh no, you're the one who's wrong, why did you have this baby? It's like, please stop. Like, that's enough. Like, there's only so much that we can do to villainize someone until they're really having real issues. And that's when I'm like, social media freaking sucks.
You know what it is? It's like, individually, right? You or I, use me for an example. I see this thing about Khloe Kardashian, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tweet how much I hate her and how she's a dumb whatever, thinking like, oh, she's never gonna see it. They're never gonna know it's me. Blah blah blah. Blah. Like how the average social media user in their mind how that works, right?
Right.
But then I'm only one person. You go across the globe, it's millions and billions of people who are doing the exact same thing, thinking, oh, they're never going to see it. They're not going to. Now you have 7 billion people coming at you with this claim, which is what happens in the media.
Yep.
You know, they see these tweets, they see this. It's not just like people, like we're thinking, oh, we're just one person. They're never going to see it. But then when everyone does it, everyone has the same mindset, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, and a lot of people are very aware. There's a lot of people that I don't know that I don't think I choose the healthiest approach either. I ignore a lot of my social media. I post and I get out. I post and I get out. I don't look at my notifications. I don't look at my DMs. And I feel like that's the reason why I can handle it. And I have like an ounce of what the follower that they get, right? Yeah. But I also feel like, yeah, there are people that are not aware because they don't see it, because that's the only way they can stay around in social media, where there are people that are just like, they can't avoid it. Even if you try, you can't avoid it. I would assume they are that way. But that just made me mad, because I feel like people should be able to be having these conversations. And I always say, when we have issues that are not talked about, like, don't we want these people to use their platforms and their influence for better causes, or to invoke conversations that need to be had? And then when they try to do that, we're going to turn on them. Like, it's so stupid.
I think that's what they're trying to do now. I feel like their whole like PR, process, the Kardashians I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Their process is kind of outdated, and they kind of think like, like the influencer, whatever model is going away. Maybe we're in a position now where we need to get people back on our side because they've hated us for so long. So now they're talking about these topics. They're talking about women empowerment. They're talking about postpartum depression. They're talking about surrogacy,
body positivity. That's a big thing that started.
Getting married, getting divorced, starting a family young, money, like the idea of not wanting to have kids, like so many different things that they're bringing to the table now that you would think would bring positive influence to society.
Right.
It's just because it's them. People are like, it's all BS. It's a publicity stunt. And listen, maybe it is. Maybe it is all, they go through a very, very minimal part of this, and they're just dramatic, making it more dramatic to make it, for the show.
Right.
But regardless, who else is doing it?
Correct.
Who else is there with that sort of platform talking about real life shiz,
Correct.
I don't know.
We're
not parents.
We're not parents, but there's a reason why.
honestly, maybe after the show, you're
gonna go make a baby?
No. But it seems like we would be great parents.
Yeah, we would. That's my dog is going crazy in the background because I don't know how to control him. But yeah, we will make great parents.
But I guess, staying on the topic of parents in Hollywood, it's coming along today, guys. This is a good one. This is a better topic, I think. Blue Ivy Carter.
Oh my God.
The daughter of Beyonce and Jay-Z.
She's coming for North's bag, baby.
Let me ask you this first. When you saw the video, and everybody listening and watching right now, if you haven't seen the video,
I'll retweet it right now. Oh, I retweeted it, but I'll do it. I'll do it again.
I
will retweet it.
Joseph says, I thought Joey would bring pregnancy and wrestling for me. Yeah, that's coming, Joseph. That's coming. Yeah. Towards the end of the show, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What did you think after seeing? Sorry, my phone's going off. What did you think after seeing the video of Blue Ivy dancing with Beyonce? What was your first thought?
I loved it. Honestly, my first thought was, I think I know where you're going with this because there was some controversy about it. But my first thought was seeing Beyonce's face light up. And if you watch the video, I watched it way too many times. But as she's walking away, she looks back with the biggest smile on her face, and you can just tell she was the proudest freaking mom in the world at that moment. And that is what I saw. I was like, first of all, my first thought was, what are they feeding this girl? Because she's already taller than Beyonce. She's like 11. But Jay-Z is a tall dude. So I guess I see where she gets that from. But Beyonce I always assumed was tall. So I don't know. Anyways, she's very tall. She's a very tall girl for 11. And then I was like, oh my God. And then she brought it out right when she says, this is my bloodline. Like, it was so perfect. Like, it was, I was obsessed. I loved the moment. And I fell into the rabbit hole. There was videos of people showing her little siblings watching her in the crowd. Like, it was so cute. The crowd went crazy for her too. Like, I was like, Blue Ivy is gonna be another Beyonce. Watch. I feel like Beyonce's a little more private. We don't see a lot of Blue Ivy outside of Jay-Z being an Instagram dad. So you do know she likes the spotlight a little bit. But she was killing it here, and it made me wonder, because we know that Northwest is gonna take over the world, but I'm like, wait, we're gonna have a Blue Ivy era too, because she killed it. What about you? What was your first thought?
I loved, Beyonce and Jay-Z are a big part of our pop culture of our generation, right? So seeing all the things that happened throughout the years of Beyonce kind of, going through the cheating and all that stuff that she went through, and regardless of what it was, I thought it was really cool to see her, like, maybe because, like you said, she's private. We don't know the real Beyonce, but from what it looked like, it seemed like it was really cool for her to have someone by her side that's like with her, like who is actually with her, opposed to just being anybody else. You know what I mean?
I feel like they have such a beautiful relationship. If you look on Twitter, there's a video of that was at the Paris concert. She brought her out again later, but the first time that she brought out Blue Ivy was at the Paris concert. And there's a video of Beyonce leaving the arena, and they had like those big vans waiting for her, and Blue Ivy was already sitting in the van. And when Beyonce went to get in, she gets up and gives her hand to just help her into the car because she was wearing heels. And I'm like, you can just tell they're best friends. You can just tell they're best friends, right? And then the grandma, Beyonce's mom, posted that Blue Ivy learned those moves in like a matter of a week and a half, where these dancers were like practicing for months. I saw a lot of people, like, the thing that pissed me off is, again, social media, right? A lot of people were just like so happy for the moment, but a lot of people were like, oh, she was kind of stiff. I was like, she was dancing like an 11-year-old should dance. And there's a difference between having a grown woman twerking, where I like the dance routine that they prepared, because it felt like a TikTok dance. I didn't think she was stiff. I thought it was great, but people were trying to criticize how she was dancing, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, why are we taking this moment away from them?
Well, that's what I wanted to get into next, because we have to talk about both sides here if we're going to talk about it. Another thing that I saw, and maybe it was just the way that I don't know, it kind of seemed, and I don't know, it kind of seemed like forced, if that makes sense. I didn't really see the stiff part. Like, listen, she may not be confident in her ability.
She's 11.
Maybe she's very nervous, so it comes out in the performance. But from the way that she was dancing, it kind of looked like she was just like, when is this over? That's like an outside point.
Okay, I thought she was doing the more of the attitude dance that you see the kids do on TikTok today.
I realized that after.
And maybe this is because I share with you, I was engaged and my ex-fiance had a daughter, and I helped raise that girl, and I went through the TikTok dance era. And I remember when sometimes I was there, she's killing the dances, but in the face she looks so bored. She's like, it's part of the routine. And I'm like, okay, but you look bored. And I feel like maybe it's a new generation thing where you're just like busting a move, but you look miserable at the same time. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it was like a TikTok attitude kind of style that she was given. Yeah, I didn't think about it from that perspective.
If you go watch it back after, you'll see. I don't know. Now that I said it, you might be like, huh? Like, it looked like he was like forced into doing that dance. And here's the back end I want to get to. And I don't believe that, by the way. It's just another.
Yeah. So what people are saying, we have to cover all sides of the news. Yeah.
If you look at the generation of the biggest pop stars today, right, who have children, so you have, I mean, Kim is not an art, like
Kanye.
a
Well,
singer,
he's not
but
pop, but
yeah,
Kanye.
but they're pop culture icons, we could say.
Right.
You have Kim and Kanye. You have Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Kardashians. There's this thing going on, and it's been happening for a little while now, where now it's a big thing, where the parent child era, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
bringing their kids into what they do, and like bringing them on stage, or bringing them, doing what Beyonce did with Blue, doing a dance routine. That was a thing that we didn't really ever see before. And now
right.
the kids are a big part of, like, they're front and center with the parents now. And you know who I have to give credit to for that? At least from what I think? Pink. Pink has been doing that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She brought her daughter out. She did a song with her daughter. She did a routine with her on stage. I don't know. It's a big thing that a lot of artists are doing today, where they're including their kids, maybe grooming them for their success. But regardless, I think it's really cool to see.
I would assume that if you're in that position and your kid is interested, there's not gonna be a better trainer than Beyonce and Jay-Z, or or Pink, or like, I will hope that it's just something that the kid wants to go into it. Like Nord screams it. Like Nord, I'm like, yeah, she's gonna follow their footsteps, whether it's like a huge influencer. I don't know what it is, but she's gonna follow those footsteps. You can just tell she's into it. She's a performer.
Yep.
This is the first time I ever see Blue Ivy in this kind of situation, so I couldn't tell you. Like, all I ever remember seeing before this is her in some of the ads with her mom, or some pictures with her mom, and then every time we see Jay-Z taking her picture at the freaking Super Bowl, that went viral because she made him take it again, and I was like, yeah, that's what we girls do, like, you didn't take it right. I'm that kind of girl that I'm like, you know what, I'll just take a selfie. You don't know what you're doing. But I just hope that she's interested in that kind of lifestyle. But I also wonder, like, I wonder if some of them try to talk them out of it, and where do you go? Like, I don't know. I don't know. We see completely random, but we also see it in wrestling too. And I always wonder, like, I know we had the Dominic and Rey Mysterio storyline, but it's like, it's been said that Dom has been training with Rey since he was like 12.
Yeah.
So it's like, you see it so much in wrestling where it's just like, do you try to talk them out of it, or do you embrace it because it's what this choice that you make for your life? Why will you tell them they're not good enough to do it? I just hope that she's into it and they're not forcing her to.
Yeah.
But I mean, this family's got money set for it. These kids didn't want to do shit. They don't have to. So that's my other thing about that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of kids, I want to give a huge shout out. Someone mentioned it in the chat before, but
it's baby season in wrestling.
Alexa Bliss announcing her pregnancy, and you know what made me so much more excited about that? That makes her seem so badass.
What?
She has been sitting at home waiting to come back to TV.
Yeah, what they called it. You see the announcement? Like, they called it like the biggest oops. Like, this was not planned, but you can tell they're so happy about it. Yeah, congratulations to them.
Utilizing their time properly. You know what I mean? Like,
but I gotta say that the baby announcement of the weekend in wrestling has to go to Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello. The way that they incorporated his old gimmick with the cue cards. Oh my god! And
they got a pop. They got a lot of reaction from the crowd. And Sammy Guevara has not had that in a long time.
She's showing, so they've been sitting on this for a while, which is funny because I noticed she wasn't coming out with him, and I was like, okay. I was assuming that maybe it's because they were trying to make this the 4-pillar storyline. We're not going to avoid that. But she was so heavily involved in everything he was doing prior to this. She's already showing, and I did watch the vlog that he posted. It's very short. It's like 3 minutes long on his channel. Adorable. But I love that baby announcement with the cue cards, and the crowd went crazy. And it was just like, there was so much controversy around them becoming a couple.
Yeah.
And it was nice for them to just get that positive reaction and just see the crowd be behind them. And then they always get booed because they come out there and make out, and I'm like, yeah, I would too, but I thought that was great. We also have Carmella.
She's showing now. She posted something on Instagram of her belly, and she's showing. It's like, it's so cool to see, like, And it's funny because
oh wait, Roman Reigns
Carmella and
tweeted.
Alexa Bliss, Carmella and Alexa Bliss they're part of the same generation of NXT.
Yeah.
You know, so seeing that generation who were like young in their 20s trying to break into WWE, now established superstars who are former women's champions, tag team champions, now taking going to that next chapter of their life. We've been a part of that ride. It's been really, really cool to see that, you know. It feels like it happened all so quick, but that's life, I guess.
Yeah, I'm happy for Alexa. I'm trying to find Carmella's post, but then I got completely sidetracked by Roman Reigns tweeted. Oh my God, you are right. Right? She does have a little belly. Aww. I
saw it this morning, and it just made me so happy, especially after everything she's been through. Like, damn.
Oh my God, her announcement to her stepkids had me in tears. Oh, that was the cutest freaking thing
I tweeted to her when it happened. I was like, it's not even 10 a.m. yet, and
it's too early to be crying like this.
And she wrote back to me. She's like, I'm so sorry.
I love that for Alexa. I love all these babies coming. It seems like we go through these seasons, right? Because remember, like, didn't we have another time where like a bunch of people were pregnant too? Like Brie was pregnant, Becky Lynch was pregnant. I think those babies are around the same. Yeah, Nikki, like those babies are around the same. No, but not with the first one, Birdie. There's Birdie, and then there's another. I don't know.
I think the second Buddy is Brie.
Right. But I remember Becky and Brie being pregnant around the same time. I don't think that was when.
Yeah, that's the second one. Because
okay, I remember we were fantasy booking all these babies at WrestleMania at some point, because it feels like we go through these eras in wrestling where everybody gets pregnant and then it just dies down. And then I'm ready for a Charlotte and Andrade baby, because that baby is coming. Not only is it gonna be beautiful, it's gonna be the most athletic baby on earth. It's gonna probably dethrone Roman Reigns at 3 months. Like that baby's gonna be 67. Literally genetically. Remember, because Charlotte used to call herself genetically better or something. That baby's literally gonna be
superior.
Yeah, that baby's gonna be genetically superior. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, I mean, congratulations to all the new parents in wrestling. It's gonna be fun to watch.
You know, it's really, really cool, and especially from a guy's perspective. Seeing today how many female wrestlers are moms,
and coming back and kicking ass even more.
Trish Stratus,
Becky Lynch came back. You couldn't even tell this woman just had a baby. The Bellas, both of them managed to come back after they have babies. Yeah. You know what I was shocked by? Yeah. When Becky did an interview during her pregnancy, and she said, "Oh, I'm inspired by moms that are, currently wrestling." And she mentioned Asuka. I was like, I had no idea that Asuka had kids. Like, talk about being private. She is so private about that.
Did you also know that she's like in her mid-40s, Asuka?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
She's so pretty.
Tamina's a mother. Yeah. I mean, there is a boatload of talent throughout wrestling, not just WWE, that are moms, and they keep that life private.
Joseph, thanks for bringing it up. Ronda came out at the Rumble when Ronda was still breastfeeding. That baby was months old, and she came back at the Rumble and freaking killed it. And what I loved about Ronda coming back at the Rumble is she had, especially somebody like Ronda Rousey, who's been so athletic and we're so used to seeing her look a certain way. She had a post-pregnancy body. Nothing wrong. Her post-pregnancy body is better than 90% of the bodies out there today. But the fact that she came out like that and was proud about it, and then she even tweeted about it, where she's like, after I won the Rumble, I had to breastfeed my kid backstage. Like, it was awesome to just see her embrace that, and just to see her come back so fast because a lot of women had that pressure that I'm not going to come back until I look absolutely perfect. Ronda didn't do that, and now she looks like she did. You wouldn't be able to tell she had a kid in between breaks if you look at her now.
Another one too is Kelly Kelly. Kelly Kelly's pregnant, and she's having twins.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I saw that on social media. It's awesome. It's awesome for everybody. What a parenting team show we had today.
You're right. Anyone I love too, I know we keep going way off, but like seeing the support from the fans as well.
Yeah.
Like, for these people, you would think there'd be more negativity around it. Like, oh, like they're not gonna be in the ring, whatever. There's like a lot of support where like this is the way it should be.
This is the way that it should be. And if they're not going to be in the ring, they're not going to be in the ring. We had them. I always say, be thankful for when it happened. Wrestling, this is nothing to do with pregnancy. These people could be taken away from us at any moment with one weird injury.
Yeah.
It's not just pregnancy, like it happens. And for them to not see pregnancy as a career ending thing for women anymore is a big deal. All of them could come back and wrestle if they want to, and if they don't want to, they made their statement, and that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. We have the last topic here. We don't have to get so much into it because I feel like it's very like it's more of one of the basic ones. Not really on brand with our show today, but Little Mermaid drama, huh?
Oh God. They're seeing accusations of like a bunch of review bombs. Have you read that too?
I haven't, honestly. I wasn't even the slightest interested to see this movie.
Same.
I there's just some movies like I heard now they're making a live action Lilo and Stitch.
Oh no.
Like what? Stitch alive?
Okay,
Was it?
I will say one thing. I fell for the live action Dumbo. I had to go see it. I love
Dumbo?
Dumbo. It's
Yes,
so
I love
cute.
Lilo and Stitch,
And they did
but
such a good job with the CGI little elephant. He was adorable. And they changed a few things in the story, but I was in agreement with it. But the princess movies, I rather remember the cartoon versions that I watched growing up. So I don't watch the live versions of
yeah.
like I'm not planning on watching this.
So they did recently, I think last year or so, a live action Pinocchio, right, with Tom
God.
Hanks. But Pinocchio himself, or itself, because he's not a real boy.
He is a real boy.
I'm a real boy. He was like a cartoon character. It wasn't like a real, like wooden doll. They made it like a 3D cartoon type character.
Okay, that's odd.
So if you go Google it, you'll see it. Like it was the way that it should have been. With
Right.
Lilo and Stitch, if you're gonna do a live action, Stitch needs to be some sort of like 3D cartoon, like what they did with the Lion King. Not
I agree.
like.
I agree.
Did you see Flounder in the new Little Mermaid movie?
No.
You didn't see him?
No. Oh yes, I did. Yes, I. Oh yes, it's depressing. It's depressing.
Nothing like him. Looks
Yeah.
like a mean fish. Like, how do you get that? How do you mess that up? I don't know.
Well, this movie has had like drama attached to it since they announced the star, which I was like, what does that have to do with anything? She has a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
I don't the issues that I have would have nothing to do with her. I watched the previews. That's as far as I gone with the Little Mermaid. I thought she looks absolutely fabulous. A lot of it looks dark. Some of the underwater scenes looks dark, and I just remember this movie being so colorful. I didn't like the version of Under the Sea. Like I'm like, no, this is like I saw a clip of it and I was like, no, this is not it. But there's some drama about the makeup on one of the
characters.
characters.
About everything in this movie.
And there's also drama about the fact that it's not like the public is giving it good reviews, which people are claiming that people are reviewing it without even seeing it, where the critics are giving it a very warm 55%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that Disney is hitting a weird desperation era, and I don't like it. They're doing it with they ruined Marvel. I'm sorry, they have. And they're doing it with all these live actions, except for Dumbo. Dumbo was great. Dumbo was adorable, okay, but I just like it's a weird era with Disney now. It just everything they do feels so forced.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a new updated if you want to take those classic stories and update them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do a live action movie. Do like an updated version of Tarzan, where like Tarzan is now like the leader, or he was the leader then, but like Tarzan's kid. You know what I mean? Like a movie from our childhood that we can relate to, but
or be original and start writing original scripts. I'm sorry, but today's generation, like the only one that I still give credit to is Scream. I feel like Scream movies, they wrote them to where Ghostface could be a different person every movie, so you can keep that franchise alive. But there's such a lack of original thoughts going into things that they're just remaking things from our generation. Now I heard they're gonna remake Final Destination. And also, if we're gonna remake things, why has nobody remade Gremlins? Because that is a classic that I would love to see remake now. I don't know if they will be able to hit the way that it did, because they made single freaking puppets of each freaking gremlin back then. I don't want to see no CGI gremlins, but I don't know. I just feel like, why can't we get some creative people to write some original scripts and let's make some magic?
They do it. they do it sometimes because if you look at movies like Frozen or Moana, I
Right.
love those movies, and
Mm-hmm.
they've become classics.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, speaking on Disney movies, today is the 20-year anniversary of Finding Nemo.
No, God, we're old. We are so old.
Yeah, I retweeted it on my Twitter this morning,
Just keep
and
swimming. Just keep swimming.
one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. That may
Same.
have to be another show that we do. A
Yeah.
Disney themed show. We just talk about the best of Disney and
Yeah.
the
Finding
effect,
Nemo, you
and the
can't go
effect
wrong
it's
with.
had on pop culture. Boom.
Cars, the original Cars,
Cars.
I also
Love
love.
those.
Up.
Lightning McQueen.
Oh my
Up.
God.
They're making a new
cried.
Up movie.
I heard.
The grandpa that goes on a date or something like that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that movie had me in tears in the beginning. Oh
yeah.
my God. Yeah, I mean, I just wish they were more original. A lot of what they do just feels forced, and I don't want it to feel forced anymore. I feel like the movie did great on opening weekend, but I feel like we're gonna see it sink this weekend. I feel the people that were gonna see it went to see it. It was a holiday weekend, of course. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah. The most interested I was about the new Little Mermaid movie, I wanted to see, because we only saw her in a small part of the trailer, but Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. That I was intrigued to see.
But her makeup is what's causing drama, so
Exactly.
people feel like they should have had somebody else do her makeup, and I'm like, who cares? Who cares? People are looking for things to complain about all the time now.
They changed some of the lyrics to the songs.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Oh, and the movie is like long. Where the original Little Mermaid was like 83 minutes long. This one is like over 2 hours, and it's like, why stretch it that much?
Yeah. I don't know. There's like, even like, you remember the Aladdin movie they did?
Yeah. I'm sorry. The Roman fell asleep, and he has like half of his body on the floor and the other half on the bean chair. Like, that cannot be comfortable.
He was waiting for you. He just gave up.
Yeah.
Oh man. Issa, anything else? I know there's a lot of wrestling this week, so you probably didn't. But anything you watch this week that was?
Man, Yellow Jackets season finale was emotional. For those of you who watch Yellow Jackets, I'm a little sad. I have a podcast called Yellow Jackets Buzz where we discuss Yellow Jackets, and now I'm a little scared of when we're gonna bring Yellow Jackets Buzz back because of the writer's strike. We don't know when the third season is, and they left us on a cliffhanger. Very easy show to binge. I suggest it to everybody. Like, if you're not watching it, you too, Joey. It's 2 seasons. It's 2 seasons. It's on Paramount Plus. The first season is 10 episodes. This one that just ended is 9 episodes. It's so easy to like get caught up. It's such a good show. I recommend it to you 1,000,000%. And if you really, really like it, then I recommend this podcast called Yellow Jackets Buzz, where we cover it. But yeah, that the season finale of Yellow Jackets Buzz got me. It's all that I got to see this week. Season finale of Survivor, the very first Puerto Rican winner. Yo, Puerto Rico's popping everywhere. But yeah, that was my TV as far as this week. I was not only was I sick, but I had too much wrestling to cover to like watch anything else.
I watched this Sunday. Yes, 2 days ago already. The season or the series finale of Succession.
Oh my God, I need to watch it. Everybody keeps telling me I need to watch it.
The last episode, it was like an hour and a half, and honestly, the way, because now the show is over. This was the last season. It's done.
It's done.
And the way that they ended it was unlike how they typically end shows. Like, they kind of gave you a tease as to what each character is going to move forward with, and they leave it up to your interpretation as to what that is. But it was very, very well made. Where like every character essentially got an ending.
Okay, I like that.
But the ending kind of like, they got an ending in the show, but like you can tell that like where they're going in the future, if that makes sense.
Right. No, that does make sense.
And the character development in the show, like night and day from the beginning to now with each character. Like, they really, I think that like pro wrestling, I heard that.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling should really get these writers for WWE, AEW, whatever, to do the character development how they did it in this show, because long-term storytelling, the show was
but hear me out. Hear me out, and we get close at talking about wrestling, because The Bloodline storyline has been unbelievable.
Cinematic.
I wish
Cinematic.
they would put that much
Masterpiece.
effort into every story that they do. But if we get just one story this good every once in a while, I'll also take it. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, I'm still extremely upset at Jimmy Uso, but that was everybody was talking about it. I have people texting me that don't even watch wrestling, asking me like, "Can you catch me up with this story?" Because I just caught this, and the crowd reaction was excellent. They did it in a
Yeah.
great venue, but my God, like whoever is behind the create, and I heard Roman Reigns is behind a lot of the creative
Paul Heyman. I mean,
with the
I think they
Bloodline,
all are really just.
but
They
my
sit around at their
God,
table and just
yeah,
collaborate.
it's just being so good. Like it's like I literally could just like put that in some kind of like book and people will read it. Like it's been super interesting.
There are a few like storylines, not feuds.
No storylines.
Storylines in history, right?
Hmm.
For me, there's three. The greatest storyline of all time, I think, is Undertaker and Kane.
Right.
Number two has to be Stone Cold and Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number three is the Bloodline.
Yeah.
In history.
Yeah.
And this will most likely when okay. So number two was McMahon and Austin. What year was that? Or years?
Years ago.
The
Years
90s.
ago.
The
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
We are in 2023. Halfway through it, by the way. Next week is June.
Don't remind me.
It has taken that long to come up with another history-making storyline.
And I texted you.
It may never happen again in our lifetime.
Right. And I even texted you. I was like, the Bloodline, all the versions of the Bloodline could literally main event the rest of the pay-per-views for the next year until WrestleMania 40. Like, there's so many different versions of these like matches that we could do that the Bloodline could be main eventing pay-per-views forever to come, and we still don't get tired of it. And they still leave you hanging. Like, they're doing such a good job. Like, creative WWE, awesome. You know, I was watching Double or Nothing, and I couldn't help but to think, Manny, the four pillars would have had a good story behind it because of the match they put on. That would have been a contender because I love the match. The build-up sucked. Imagine if they would have given them a real, like, we created this company story and then they put on that amazing match. But yeah, back to our show. It's just, I think that the Bloodline is like good storyline like that. You know, like you're talking about Succession. People are talking about a lot of really good TV right now. I'm like, listen, WWE is giving us some really good TV right now. Right now, I can't wait till Friday. I literally cannot wait till Friday. And I miss having that feeling in watching wrestling.
Let me ask you this so we can kind of close out from here. Friday is the 1000th celebration of Roman Reigns, right?
Yes.
He's the one. That's it. He's going to pass the next record, I think, is Bruno, one of Bruno Simmer, or no, Don
Pedro
Morales.
Pedro Morales. Yeah, a little sad about that because my Latino king is about to get passed, but that's okay.
I think it's like 1,027 days, right?
Yeah, he's also surpassing CM Punk, by the way, with the 434 with the WWE Championship. Anyway.
I posted that yesterday. I said, Punk, Roman is the longest reigning champion in the last 35 years. Before him was CM Punk. Who's the common denominator? The wise man, Paul Heyman.
Oh, that's a good point. We also had a 500-day reign with Brock Lesnar and the Universal title when he had Paul Heyman. So
the Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions.
That's a good point.
Paul Heyman. Yeah. So Heyman is the greatest. I think the greatest manager of all time.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so the 1000th day celebration.
Yeah.
Do you think that Roman is getting a newly designed undisputed Universal Championship belt instead of holding two belts? Because on the website, on WWE's site, he's labeled as one champion. He is the undisputed Universal Champion.
Yeah.
Those titles are combined now. They mean they equal to one championship.
That means I had to buy another belt. Well, the belt that I had was a gift. It was a gift from my good friends at Wrestle Rumble. They got it for me with the Roman Reigns plates because I feel like that's the title that Roman Reigns has made. It's the Blue Universal Championship. If they make a special design for him, I'll say it right here, right now. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. He's my favorite. He's my favorite.
For him, but like a new
undisputed
WWE
for him, Joey.
title with the one on it. Just
No,
the
if he
one.
drops it, then somebody else can get the old belt back.
Yeah. I don't know. It's there was
I like him
one,
carrying the two belts though. It looks badass.
and I'm still trying to figure out. I know I asked you in your chat during the pay-per-view, but or the PLE. He always comes out with the WWE title around his waist, and Heyman is always holding the Universal Championship. I wonder what is the significance there.
You know what? I wonder where he would have carried the other two belts if they would have won on, on Saturday.
The Usos. He would have made the Usos hold those
The
belts
Usos, yo, that would have been
and just
savage.
let him like this. That would imagine that honestly would have been a great storyline. Like
I wanted him to
hold the
win him.
titles that are mine now that you lost that I
I
have to
wanted
take back
him to
myself.
win him, and then maybe even hand it to them. Like, here, you guys go. You guys can. One of you can defend it with solo. I just got it back for you
Yeah.
guys. Like that would have also. It's funny because no matter what you did on Saturday, it could have been a really good story. Like regardless of how it went, that's what happens when you put time and effort into a storyline.
Yep. Saturday was the 1000th day, but I also think it would have been really cool to have the first ever champion to hold 4 different titles.
Yeah.
It's never been done.
Yeah, but it would have been an overkill because people are already kind of souring up on him a little bit. So I can see, and I love what they did. It was about time that you put. Now Sammy and Kevin are moving on. Like everything's gonna be okay, but it's just the story. Like I know we're not supposed to talk wrestling on here, but it's just the story.
Pop
It's been
culture.
so interesting. It's been so interesting, and that video had 10 million views in less than 24 hours.
Crazy.
10 million views. Nobody's watching wrestling like that anymore, and the bloodline is bringing eyes back into the. I told you, my oldest nephew always watches, but my 2 youngest nephews were like, this looks badass. Can you catch me up with the story? And I had to let them know, and like one of them pointed out that Jay was screaming Joe instead of Roman. Like, oh my god, that was it. Like, it was awesome. So I just love to see. I want wrestling to be cool again. Sometimes I tell people I cover wrestling for a living and they look at me like, really? No, I want it to be like, oh, that's badass, because and I feel like storylines like this could make that happen.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the fans, you and I are cooking up something to do, wrestling based. So I think the fans of this show, our individual shows, will be really excited to see what's going on. But yeah, I think we'll leave them on a cliffhanger.
Yes.
Good storytelling.
Storytelling. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. Some stuff coming from Issa and I. Keep a lookout on her channel, and always fun stuff.
Always fun stuff.
Listen. There's no better power duo than us. Is there?
Literally.
Yeah.
Duh. But listen, I'm glad we got a palette wash, like with the wrestling talk after talking so much parent stuff, because
I know. I was starting to think like maybe I gotta go get another dog or something. Like
I think that every day, and then I'm afraid that Roman will try to kill it because I feel like my dog will. If I give attention to another dog, he will get so jealous. Like, it would be a bad idea.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll end. I know. So my parents have the dogs. I have a cat, right?
Okay.
My cat's name is Jagger. He's 8 years old. Let me ask you this about Roman, because I know it happens with humans too. My cat has only child syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, there would be no way for me to bring another animal into my house. My cat would have like a fit. He acts like an only child. Does Roman do that? And you know what I mean when I say that. Like, there's just certain things that the way that their personality, the way that they live, you could just tell like they're like one and done.
I make the joke that I have to pay my current apartment for Roman. I just a peasant here. This is all his. That is how he acts. He thinks everything belongs to him. My lab belongs to him. He even gives me a time limit. If I'm sitting here talking for a certain amount of time, he'll start barking at me like, it's time for my attention. Hello, you've been there for 2 hours. He sleeps in, Roman is the worst. And if he's sitting on me, if you try to get close to me, he's going to try to end you. And that's why I'm like, oh, maybe I should get him another dog so he has something to play with. No, he will go crazy. It's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna be realistic. It will probably be putting that other dog in danger.
I've always debated getting like a dog
I was thinking a cat, but then with my asthma, the reason why Roman works for me is because he doesn't shed. I'm asthmatic, so shedding is bad, and cats are notorious for shedding, even worse than dogs. So
no, I get it.
I can be around a cat for a little bit, but daily, I think it would affect my asthma. So, but I was like a cat because cats are more jerks. So I was like, a cat will put Roman in his place. A dog, Roman is alpha. Like Roman is always gonna be alpha. It's just not gonna work out, and I'm not gonna get another dog to have to rehome it or something, because it will happen. He would try to fight this dog to the end. It would be like the Hunger Games of dogs in my apartment.
I'd come home and like my cat would be like laying out, and I'd be like, "Where's the dog?" Like locked in a closet or something. Like the cat would do that. Like he would.
If you want to know how much of an only child syndrome he has, or a spoiled only child syndrome, when I'm streaming, he lays in the air conditioned room in my big bed. There's 3 beds, 3 dog beds out here. No, he's laying in my bed with the air conditioning while I'm streaming.
The lives of our animals.
I want to be him when I grow up.
Seriously.
My mom and I were talking about that. I was like, I hope I come back as a spoiled dog, but like Roman spoiled on my next life. I would love that.
Oh, man, Issa, today was fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. Oh, I always do, Joey. I always do. And
we always get like
the noises deep. Outside. Yeah, we do deep.
We get deep, and then it's like fun deep, if that makes sense. Like we get deep, and then we're like laughing, like we're having a good time.
Oh, you know what? You just remind me of fun dip. I love fun dip.
There you go.
I know that's not what you said, but I know. my ADHD.
Joseph said, so much fun, Issa and Joey.
Yeah,
and it's always having the chat, like to kind of like engage with us and give their side, too. Like it's not just us talking; it's like us and like 10, 15 other people talking. So it's
the best.
Really fun to do.
Thank you, everybody watching.
Absolutely, thank you, everybody, and that's a wrap for today. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.